What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Faith Based Outdoors. We got another action-packed video for y'all today. We got some Alabama deer hunting. We just recently got back from Alabama. We were up there for about 4 days, and 3 of those days we were actually able to get an afternoon hunt in. So the first one we were on a friend's property, and then the second two were actually on our own property, and it was the first time that I'd ever hunted it. So super exciting, super awesome that we're able to start managing this property to hopefully produce some big whitetails and turkeys one day. And yeah, action-packed hunt, so y'all check it out. So as I said, the first afternoon hunt was on a friend's property. We're very grateful that we were allowed to hunt this property. It is an absolutely gorgeous piece of land, and we're just very thankful to our friend that allowed us to come hunt his property. It is quite a few acres, so this stand in particular is on this beautiful food plot right on the edge of a swamp. So I just wanted to record my dad and I walking in. This was the first time in a while that my dad and I have actually hunted together and sat together. On this food plot, there's a very nice box stand that can fit 2 people, so him and I decided that we would sit together with the old trusty 243 and see if we could have a big one come by. So here we are making it to the box blind. It was an absolute beautiful afternoon, so I just wanted to capture that with my Bible and my binoculars over the food plot. So here my dad and I are once we made it to the box blind, filming a little intro. It was a little past 3 o'clock when we got in the blind, and just once again wanted to take a video of our setup because it was a gorgeous afternoon. So once we were in the box blind settled, my dad and I were doing some reading, and I heard some squirrels barking to our right, and sure enough, about 10 minutes after I heard the squirrel barking, this little yearling popped her way out into the plot. It may not look like it on video, but she actually got so close to the point where I had to stick my phone outside the box blind window to actually be able to keep recording her and to see what she was doing to make sure that we didn't make any noise or anything that would spook her. So as the afternoon went on, there was just more and more deer that kept filing into the field. It ended up being like 8 does, a couple yearlings, and then a spike that made his way into the field. But I put some of these clips on 2x speed just to show them because they pretty much stayed in there the rest of the afternoon for another hour and a half till dark. Eventually, those deer that you see on the right side of the screen made their way closer to the box blind, ended up just kind of doing a big circle throughout the food plot. And then you're going to see something pretty funny here in a minute on this next clip. It's pretty cute behavior from the deer. So kind of like you have with dogs, they can get the zoomies sometimes, and that's kind of what you're seeing here. It was awesome that we were able to capture this on camera and share with everybody. So we're very thankful for that. So right around sunset, most of those deer made their way back to the swamp, and then we had a couple big does work their way in from the same trail that first yearling came into the plot. So the next morning, we decided to go back to our own farm and pull some camera SD cards. To our surprise, we saw this very nice 7-point showing up pretty consistently on this one roadbed. So I decided to hunt him that afternoon. So the first deer that showed up was actually a yearling that just came right down that roadbed that you just saw in the previous clip, and she pretty much is right next to me at this point. But I didn't want to take my phone out as she was crossing that gap because I didn't want her to see me. But this is her just making her way on down past the road. Then when it gets a little bit later, now is when the real action starts. I start hearing some more rustling in the leaves, and I look up to see this really nice young buck working his way down that same path. And I just thought it'd be cool to get him on video as he's walking by, because it's your own farm and everything. But as I'm recording him, I don't realize that that big 7-point actually steps out into the road down a little bit further, and that's him right there. So I'm kind of handcuffed in this situation right now, and I got my phone, obviously, that I'm recording with, and my bow is laying across my lap. So I know I'm going to have a lot of movement that I need to make to be able to pull this shot off, and I'm not able to.
Walking back to the house now. As you can see, that was an amazing hunt to get in there late. Still have 2 nice bucks. One of them was a really nice young 8-point, and the one behind him, man, he handcuffed me. He was a good deer. He had some really nice G2s. Once I realized how big he was, I was definitely going to try to shoot him. But as you can see, filming, I got handcuffed. When I stopped recording, that young 8-point that was walking under my stand saw me move, put my phone down, so he blew and took off running. He just ran down the road a little bit, got in the wood line. I started calling again, so he stopped, and then he pretty much hung out within 30 yards of me the rest of the night. I could have shot the young 8-point, but I was really hoping that big one would come back. But yeah, very, very eventful hunt, to say the least. Very thankful. It was an amazing hunt. So, yep, signing off. What's up, y'all? We're back in the stand. It's a little bit past 3 o'clock. We got a front moving through tonight about 6 o'clock, so the wind's really starting to pick up. So we're hoping that gets the deer up on their feet and moving, so we'll see what happens. Stay tuned.
So just to reiterate why I'm putting the time on the screen, I just filmed that intro at 3:14, took this video of the setup at 3:15, and at 3:16, deer started coming down that road. So that was obviously amazing to see. You love when action starts that fast when you're sitting in the stand, especially in afternoon hunts. Sometimes we get complacent with thinking, oh, I got another 2 hours till the last hour of daylight where anything's going to happen. But this was action right away, so that was awesome. So I've personally never been a big fan of any type of scent control or soaps or sprays or anything. Before this afternoon hunt, I actually went to the gas station and accidentally stepped in gasoline with my work boots that I'm hunting in right now. And you can see as this big mama doe is working her way down the path, she hits my trail and just starts making almost a beeline right to the stand. And she just keeps looking up in the stand, but I'm just trying to stay as still as possible. And she never ended up spooking, which was great. But it was her yearling that came before her, then the mama doe, and then 2 more spikes came in behind her. And all I was thinking about is having the same thing happen to me as happened the first afternoon with getting handcuffed while recording. So I wanted to wait till all these deer could clear out so that I could stop recording and get ready to hopefully see the big boy come through. Also, I forgot to mention, as you can probably hear in the background of the video, the wind is going crazy. As I mentioned before, with the front coming in later this evening, I didn't know this, but at the time that I'm hunting right now, there's a tornado watch for the area that I'm in. So that would explain the wind that is going absolutely nuts. So about an hour after those deer cleared out, I looked all the way down the road about 120 yards away, and I saw this really big deer walking around, weaving in and out of trees, and was hoping he would come down to where I'm at. So here I am just trying to glass and get a better look at him. I could never see his head. I thought at one point I saw a flash of antlers, but I'm still not really sure. I just know it was a really big body deer and tried to call him down to me. So now we're starting to get to that crunch time I was referring to earlier with that last hour of daylight. And I always love to do a lot of calling right before dark. So here's my big elongated call sequence. It may seem excessive to quite a few of you, but honestly, I've had it work so many times that I'm just going to keep doing it, because if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Well, that was certainly another eventful hunt. Had deer pretty much come in right after I filmed the intro and took a video of the setup. It was non-stop deer after that. And they stayed all around me, feeding on the acorns the rest of the night. And I just waited till they eventually moved off after dark. But yeah, wasn't able to seal the deal tonight. But it was an amazing hunt nonetheless. Very thankful. Looking forward to making some new videos soon. See you next time. That's it.
What's up, y'all? Just wanted to pop in here at the end of the video to introduce our new friend at Faith Base Outdoors. My wife and I recently just got this little puppy. Her name's Shadow, so you'll probably see her in future videos. I just wanted to introduce her because I thought she was real cute. That's it.